Greetings, game changers. This is Classic Games Redefined. My name's Rich, and this is a video I'm going to go that tries to go into why we're looking at the abstraction war in games. One of the aspects of it, one of the goals we have here regarding that, the integration of chess variants, abstract army games, looking at themes that you pull together from the abstraction of war. Major focus I'm doing in here now with this introductory part has to do with what you have here regarding the bits you would find in games that are like chess related. You have your standard chess stuff you have over here. You see that there. Has some checker pieces, which I did another video saying that you could use as like checker kings or a Chinese cannon. Or a Calvin ball piece, a stupendous man from Calvin ball player. We have Chinese chess pieces here. Again, I show them over here. You happen to have Pyramid, the Ice House pieces. Again, another checkers, I have them there. You have these pieces that are normally chess variants. The Chancellor and Archbishop, both of them over here. Those are the Chancellor and Archbishop. And a wall, which I managed to get from Castle Panic, the thing there. So I took that. You have Shogi pieces here, and you have the Chinese chess pieces. There are a world of other things here, even checkers of other colors. But what's the point of just like breaking down the games, pulling out individual pieces from them and using elsewhere? What is the benefit of that? Why bother to break them down and integrate? That's what I'm going in this video. And part of my kind of low tech, although I'm using Tabletop Simulator, what you see here is that I'm pretty much using a card for my notes. And also I have this here, which is going to be my thing. I'll mark from point to point here. These are kind of my notes. It also kind of gives you an overhead. By doing the bullet point, you can see where we are in the video. So let's go over some of the reasons I have, and this is going to be some of the reasons, some of the benefits. I'm sure there are others. I gave some thought to this. So what we're looking at here regarding this is let's go over some of them. One of the reasons why you're looking at the benefits of this here is to foster creativity, creative thinking, innovation, etc. over the idea of memorization. Somebody was speaking to somebody else that was taught chess, and I'm in where I am currently. Ran up to more than once. We were discussing creative thinking versus static. He actually used crystallized intelligence versus fluid. It was a good term. If he's seen that, hello, we should talk sometime about what I'm working on here. I actually played across when he did a simple organization and did the game that way. But anyhow. So the idea of fostering creativity, fluid intelligence, adaptive intelligence versus that, which is a big interest of mine, is that when you do that, a game can remain open and innovative and flexible, and we'll get to some of those points later. When it goes memorization, it's what you see with chess here, why I think chess has gotten stale. They've actually reduced the chess clock for that. It's gotten stale. So the end result of getting stale, when it gets stale like that, is a game is on its way to dying. An abstract strategy in a moment it's born has an expiration date unless it's adaptable and can go. A game like Magic the Gathering, games that have expansions go that way. Role-playing games like Dungeons & Dragons, players create things. So by having it here, and bringing this into this world of these abstract games, of these abstract armies with all these wonderful pieces from all over, you allow a game to breathe, allow to have it. You can study areas about how human beings innovate, how they create, how they adapt. It's interesting. I mentioned Chess 960 here because one of Bobby Fischer's goals they had for it there, and it's going to blow up like that. Yeah, I mentioned Chess 960. The reason why I mentioned Chess 960 there, it's related because that was one of Bobby Fischer's goals in Fischer's Random Chess, was actually to bring back that innovativeness. I think a mere shuffling of the pieces on a board really isn't enough, and personally, a shuffling, I'm going to go into one thing here through the use of mutators on how you can do shuffling but have it controlled. I personally like to have it integrated in strategy, but at the same time have things that restricts a player so they're not locked into everything. One of the things that Chess 960 does is it allows you, Fischer Random Chess, allows you players to have to adapt to certain situations and do it here. So that's one of them here. That's a core one you have here. Let's go to the next point, and we'll bring the bullet point down here. So we'll have that there. That's actually a shrunken down checker. I shrunk it down really small, and that's what we had there. So another thing here is that a framework for managing variance. That's one of the things that happen. And why is this important? Why is managing variance important? Well, that's what you have here, and that's what we're talking about here. Because that's supposed to be two parts. This was supposed to be indented. I didn't quite line it up right. I copied over. It was indented in my computer. Probably did spaces. I copied it over, put it on the card. But anyhow, for the managing variances, the reducing of needless redundancy. What you see in the chessvariant.com website, if you go there, is you'll observe that somebody tweaks a few positions, and then it's a new game of chess. It's chess this, chess that, chess everything else. There's a lack of that there. Therefore, it gets over redundant, and therefore people are reinventing the wheel over and over again. By studying how to integrate this, you can do that. You could say, well, we have the chess canon, and it has this name here. I've seen one of the things I find irritating, and it leads to it. Somebody will take a name and have a different attribute for it, or like the canon, for example. I saw in a House of Stanton. The canon is not the Chinese chess canon. Mind you, I don't know my Chinese, but one of these pieces here are that. So anyhow, one of those pieces are. It moves differently, but has the same name. We've seen the other case here with these pieces of the Chancellor and our bishop, like on Mansarowan chess. You had the hawk and the elephant. And they were the Chancellor and the Archbishop, but Yasser Seirawan and Harper decided they want to name something different, and he totally did. So all the work you have of people naming things gets totally thrown out of the window. So you end up having all this needless redundance here. So to come able to integrate, you can actually come up with a naming notation to help streamline this and reduce it. I mean, you can then have it set up so that you could have, if you want to be a hawk or elephant, or the cannon be something else, it can be that in a game, but then you have a common naming that way. It helps for it. With that there, the lack of, by reducing that redundance, you have another thing happen here, which is the reducing of the learning curve. Actually, by doing this way here, you can then go into the classic designs. Let's say, for example, you learn in this world, or you can learn how to play chess normally, or something else. It has it this way because you have it. You learn how some more pieces work, and also moving. You realize like you have here is the Chancellor piece, which is a rook-knight combination. By knowing that, you realize, but you know it's a rook-knight, you know how it moves. It helps reduce the learning curve, which is a benefit here for going into this. That's one of the advantages you have there of that by reducing the learning curve. You have that there, pardon me here. On the other side here, by having a system for doing studying integration, you also can end up developing a pathway for open-endedness. I won't say you could argue it would be a near infinite sort of way to do this if you manage to get the integration to working right and get people involved in the project and doing it. You can have a pathways to open up and how to have it and have things work together so they integrate properly here. So that's another factor you have here regarding this. I would say another one related to all this here is that there's a lot of ways fun, and fun's kind of gray, and I just try to throw a way to do that, because for me this is fun, taking this stuff here, mixing together, going across, never playing the same game twice and all that here. I'd have two of them, and I'm always wondering about them. What's the appeal of novelty? So I'm going to have novelty to itself here. Just the idea of seeing something new in a way that works. Well, it's not a dead end, so doing it. But also on the other side there, the novelty, that is the outward manipulation, so you get things surprised. The other one is self-expression, where I can control this. So the end result, by studying and having an idea of having the larger system, all this stuff comes together, you're actually able to have people do expression, and it relates to the earlier point up here. See the earlier point here? Oops, I got to be careful of that. The fostering creativity and memorization we had on the top point there. That one there, it actually relates to it or something else, but allows you to artistically do things. And let's say, for example, like Game of Thrones, you come up with a system that works well enough here, for example, and you figure out the way to do it, and all these different pieces, types get together, you can do it. You can take like a world like Game of Thrones, and I'm not going to look it up now. It has a game, the writer of the Game of Thrones came up with a chess-like game in it. By having a framework and studying this integration, you can then know what works and what doesn't and develop a game in that world. And you can also introduce the new stuff you have that way there. So that's another thing. You could like have this wall, for example, and you could say, well, wall, we could shrink it down and saying pieces are not allowed to enter that way. Doing terrain and everything else. You could integrate different boards here. You could figure out how to do that stuff there. So that idea of expressing it and being things together, taking a rook, or taking what I've done in the other video of the Chinese chess canon and integrating it that way, There's another one there, so that's what I have. And let's go with another one. I'm sure there are other ones. You can feel free to list below and express your thoughts on it. But here is one I think that's important if this manages to get off and you get enough people involved. Is actually creating a market for these physical pieces and bits. What we have now is we have the chess variant website. You can go play. But the pieces aren't out there. Byproduct with enough interest. This is a byproduct you have. You're hoping this comes across here if enough people go across, and that's one of the things I'm hoping to do as one of my goals here. But by looking at this, you can bring enough people together, studying and figure out how to do it, that actually people can do it. And you kind of run it like an open source project where you actually create a market and people can add new stuff to it. For the pieces, you have these pieces here, and let's say bits like this here, and other factors you have. Let's say you can use like the ice house piece, explain how it works, and it could be like a terrain piece instead of a piece you actually move. You actually use it in Martian chess where it like move across board. Here would be something interesting. I'm doing a sidebar here. You play Chinese chess with an ice house piece, and it moves across the board and changes side, because that's the way it does. You can have it move like a rook and capture, and it can do accordingly once it switches sides. So, just an idea to have there. But anyhow, to have a market where you could buy these, people could add more, or they fit together. That would be interesting. One of the advantages of that there is it helps promote interest in this here, because it grows. Because one thing I would hold out, other people think there's not a need for it online. The thing is, nobody goes, how many people go to the chess variant website? I mean, you get an interest and you do it, you're doing it. But if you actually had physical pieces, you could actually play with people and use the social component and get together. There's something about doing a board game in person, that's the tangible thing. That's a benefit of people, like this, the whole social thing of actually picking up here. I personally do like this here. I do kind of like it, but I actually picked up the checker and it moved. Let's see if that picks up. Hey, it moved. Good. The checker didn't. But anyhow, I'll pick up the checker. It's not moving. That's weird. Okay, it did move. Good. But anyhow, by actually having physical pieces that you play, meat and everything else, it does not want to go. It seems to want to be on the lines for some reason. Okay, there it goes. Anyhow, by having physical pieces, you can get people together and play, and that would foster things, lead more people, and if there was actually money and it could go that way, that's kind of a sidebar, kind of a goal I'd have here. So that's why I'm kind of doing promoting the video, just to get this stuff together, to work together, have it work, have it connect, see things together, and also developing these general skills. So you have a list of the reasons why you see that here, and certain benefits that would be of value if this would work right. So anyhow, I'm going to do that there. I was checking on my filming software, make sure it works. So just some thoughts I have here regarding it. Feel free to post some comments below. I'm sure there are others. But this is some of the events on why you'd want to integrate this and studying it. In a broader picture, also looking at how war is abstracted. So even doing that and studying this and figuring together, you could translate certain elements and principles of supply or terrain into this and so on and so forth. So that's it. So the reason we have here is the fostering a creativity, managing the growth and expansion variance to be able to reduce needless redundancy and also reduce a learning curve, to foster an open-endedness, engage in novelty and self-expression, and also hopefully to have a market for the stuff here, increase in interest. For me, that creativity side, it would be great if we could actually do that, neuroplasticity, etc., and have it. But anyhow, I'm going to start rambling at this point here. These are my notes. I might do stuff in the future like this here. I hope you can see that on the screen, but anyhow. So that's about it. We're going to be uploading this soon here, and that's it. Might do some other videos. I have a lot of stuff planned here. I have a life to get to also, but anyhow. Not a wife. I'm single, but a life. So anyhow. Okay, I'm signing out. I do want to thank you for watching this video, and we're out. I hope it went relatively okay. This is clocking at about 15 minutes, but anyhow. Feel free to watch. We're going to upload it and make some tweaks, and hopefully this is worthwhile. And we'll get to some other stuff here. So, okay, I'm out. I want to wish you all a good evening. And so we'll close by saying, may or die, always roll 5. And remember, don't hate the player, change the game. And I'm out. Take care, everybody. Till the next video.